Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm John Gray, and we're just plain living here, and it's Christmas season.
All over the place. Have you noticed? Everywhere you look.
Everywhere. This past Friday night, we had the Christmas parade, and the weather turned out good.
I know, and it was warm enough, and
We set it up on the porch out here. It went in a different direction this year.
I think that was a wise move because there's so much more parking space and all that at the high school.
We'll see.
Oh,
But it all went off well, and everybody had a good time. And I think they ended up at South Jackson where they could jingle mingle.
jingle and mingle into the night.
I don't know how that went. I assume it went well.
I feel sure that all the workers hung around a while and
And,
had a good time.
The trees of South Jackson
Are they not gorgeous?
are there, and
beautiful.
that everybody got to go in and see. I asked Fran how many there were, what she thought. She said, "Well, I don't know, probably 100."
There was way more than last year, but I don't have the count in my head. But it was quite beautiful.
And then let's see, what else was it on Sunday?
Well, we were supposed to be having the Chris Crindle March selling stuff, and vendors, but that got canceled
Right.
because of the weather, I guess.
Yeah.
And it'll be back again next year. The big thing is White Christmas opens this weekend,
Yes.
and everybody's excited about that.
And if
Tickets
you
are
haven't
going like
gotten a
wildfire.
ticket, if you haven't
They're-
gotten a ticket, you better be calling somebody.
That's right. They're going really fast. I haven't looked at the chart this weekend. I didn't look,
It's
but
probably full. We're going to
it's,
plan on going next weekend, and it's almost full for next
I
weekend.
know. It's just I think it's fun that we're having a Christmas production at the Civic Center.
Yes, yes.
I love it.
And
Well, of course, every other year we have Nutcracker, and
Right, right.
I love that too. I think that's beautiful.
well, and then Sunday there was the home visitation,
Right.
and then that ended up along with that ticket was a ticket to go to South Jackson, allowed you in to see the trees.
Right.
And there were, Fran said she was at Florence's house and said that she can't remember seeing that many people involved in that home show.
Good. That's a wonderful.
Because they could all leave wherever they're going. And
Yeah.
I think Florence's was probably last on the list
Probably.
because it's on Jackson Street, a half a block from South Jackson, where the ticket allowed you to go and see the trees.
And of course, the tree lighting and
Annie Osborne, that was on
Osborne,
Thursday night.
I'm sorry that I
Grand
couldn't-
Marshal reception.
I couldn't be there because we were doing a band rehearsal, but I think that went well.
Civic Choir was on Saturday night.
Civic Choir was really unique this year. I enjoyed it. Great job.
They did a wonderful job. Of course, we'll be playing that on our network. And then Sunday night, Fran and I went to Manchester because Jacob was singing with the choir at the Baptist church over there. They had a big show.
Great.
So, whew, I'm full.
I went to Malo's event, and that was fun. That was Sunday afternoon, I think. Yeah.
Okay, we've got the Civic Choir.
Right.
Well, let's see, Christmas Parade, plus the Manchester Christmas Parade
Right.
last week, which will be show as well, Tullahoma Christmas Parade, the Civic Choir, the home shows,
Home shows.
and
Trees of Christmas.
Trees of Christmas, Manchester show,
I can't keep up. with all
Motlow
of it.
show.
Motlow.
If you can't find
Find
something to do,
Right.
don't blame us or anybody in this town, because this town is full.
This town is
stuff to
celebrating,
do.
and there's enough bargains at all of our shops that you can
That's
find
right.
everything you need in Tullahoma.
You can do that. I mean, and as we've said before, certainly you can't find everything you need in any little small town. There's some things that you have to go other places to get, but get off the internet and go walk around to some of our local shops.
There's a lot of shops that people don't even know they're there.
Don't
because
know they're there.
haven't.
Pick something that you've not been in and go in, because let me tell you what, they're all stocked full of beautiful things,
And they're
great gifts,
bargains galore.
bargains, and all the money stays here. The tax money plus the profit, because the profit goes to the owner, and the owner lives here,
And
who
he-
spends their money here.
Exactly.
So there's a big
There's a-
effect that goes along with that. Look at there's somebody just walked in the door from the Christmas parade. Miss Candy Couch is here
Great.
with us today. She has a presentation that we're going to make that we
Oh,
didn't
wonderful.
usually make the other night. So we'll have the fire chief in here in
Oh,
just a
good.
minute and deal with that.
I
So
guess the chief was out in the parade, were they?
fire chief,
Yeah.
police chief, all the chiefs.
All the
Every
chiefs.
chief. And my girl got to ride in a Corvette.
Oh, wow, how cool.
She was riding in a Corvette because the Corvette Club is the sponsor of Alzheimer's Tennessee,
Yeah.
local Corvette Club, and they make some donations to that. But they also, when they have the race across the state, the Corvette Club brings a lot of their cars out to Walmart,
Oh.
and people can look at their
People can
cars.
look at how
I
beautiful
mean,
they are.
let me tell you what, you talk about some cars. Those are some fancy cars.
I know.
And then, of course, there's some back from the 60s when they first started making them that are members of the club as well. So,
Did you ever have one?
me?
Yeah.
No. I had a Mustang. That was fast, and it'd go about 125, and that's all I
My
needed.
son loved a Mustang.
So, wish I still had it, but I don't.
Well, you can't keep everything.
No, someday they all wear out,
If that happens to be your
just
passion.
like we do.
if it happens to be your passion and you work on cars, then
Oh, yeah.
you have a reason to keep them because they need to be kept polished and pretty and
Yeah,
in shape.
and I figure a car is a piece of equipment.
right to
You know,
get
they
you
get you from
somewhere.
here to there. Pretty cars are nice, new cars are nice, but old cars are just fine.
As long as they're running.
I remember Jacob bought an old car one time, a Bronco, oh no, a Blazer, and somebody asked Fran, said, well, what color is it? And she said, well, it depends on where you look.
Yeah.
Because it had, one of the doors had electric windows in it, another door had roll-up windows. I mean, it had been pieced together so many times, but
That's great.
boy, he sure did like that car. So, it's just all kinds of stuff going on. The town is lovely. There's going to be December the 11th, and we'll have somebody on here probably next week to talk about that. There's going to be an art auction downtown at the
good.
Copper Daisy Art Collective down there, which is in the Avenues, which is a new group
And
of artists
that would be nice.
who have gotten together, and it's a real gallery. There's art in there. Local artists have put art in there, and it's a gallery where you can go and buy art
As
whenever
well
the
as
doors
display,
open.
yeah.
Yes.
That's great.
So that's wonderful to have someone who has come in and started a gallery, because usually to go to an art gallery, you have to go to Murfreesboro, Nashville, or somewhere
And
like that.
Fine Art Center is presenting different things
Right,
all
sure
the
are.
time.
So it's just, there's a lot going on, and we're just happy to be here. And you said practicing, you're practicing because you're getting ready for the New Year's Eve
Shindig.
shindig at Bell Buckle Banquet Hall.
Right. That happens.
And that's always fun for folks who love to hear big band music around Christmas time
Or
and
who-
dance.
And who would love to eat good food
And
because
eat
Bell
good
Buckle
food.
Banquet Hall lays it out. I'm telling you,
They
it's
sure
great.
do.
They're a wonderful group.
They sure do.
It's a very pleasant place to be because it's beautifully decorated and everything is just real nice.
Have you seen any elves around your house?
Oh, I don't get it.
You don't
Have you-
get
have you
elves.
got
Well,
a
you
few?
don't know if you're not looking.
Maybe there is one, and I'm
I'll
looking.
bet you there'll be. I'll bet you there's an elf somewhere.
I've got a black cat that streaks through every once in a while.
How's Jazz Man doing?
Jazz Man is in control now.
Is Jazz Man in control?
He now owns the house.
They have a way of doing that, you know.
I know, they just take over. He's a pretty good cat.
Pretty good cat?
Pretty good cat, yeah.
How's all your extended family?
You know, they're Hither and Yon.
Hither and Yon, Kara and all that bunch?
Kara is doing her stuff all the time. She is
her husband,
number
Tony,
one in Murfreesboro.
Woodall is probably one of the most easygoing guys I've ever known. I call him taller than me. Of course, most people are, but he's somewhere close to 7 feet tall. And they had him dressed up in that Will Ferrell elf outfit.
I know.
It was the funniest thing you have ever seen. That's the biggest elf there's
in
ever
the world.
been.
Yeah.
But he's a fine fellow.
Yeah, when he comes in my house, he has to duck to get under the fan that hangs in the den.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
It's just the time of year to get out there, and remember, put aside all the junk that we seem to baggage that we seem to drag around in our society now, and show a little kindness, show a little love for your fellow man.
While you mentioned dragging stuff around, Dam Runs takes a lot of decorations that you don't use anymore, and they put it out on the table, and people that want to can come in and pick up ornaments and stuff to decorate their tree, and maybe they can't afford to go out and buy a bunch.
Sure.
So if you have stuff to get rid of.
And old trees.
Take it, old trees. Take it to Dam Runs.
Not the live ones that have been in your yard since last year,
Yeah.
but the ones that last forever that you got tired of and you went and got a new one, take your old one to Dam Runs.
And I like to see, there's a lot of lights up everywhere in people's houses. They look.
It seems like the evolution of lighting, going from light bulbs, incandescent light bulbs, to LED, has gotten the cost to where it's more affordable to decorate.
Yeah.
And so there are decorations everywhere. Go by and see what you can see, and pick out your favorite yard in Tullahoma. I'm sure there'll be a contest.
There'll be a lot, and they'll be beautiful.
So go by the Chamber of Commerce, see them, see what's going on, see what they have. You know, they usually have a deal where if you buy local, you get points. You have a card, and every time you buy somewhere local.
Well,
I don't know if they're doing that this year or not. I would imagine they are, because they usually do.
Yeah,
and then they give money away.
I'll take it.
So go by the Chamber of Commerce and see what they've got going on. And don't leave us, because we'll be right back with today's show. Hang around.
I want to invite y'all to come by Clayton's, downtown Tullahoma. We try to serve the community, the area, and we try to help people with their feet and comfortable shoes. We still measure feet. We have a great new arch mat. We have insoles. Please come see us at Clayton's and let me help you find some comfortable shoes for those achy feet.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make you smile. Service and quality at Clayton's Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
My husband was diagnosed with a spinal infection. He lost his ability to swallow and the movement of his legs.
I couldn't turn over in bed, I couldn't walk, I couldn't eat.
They were just wonderful in the treatment and care they gave my husband.
I regained my mobility where I was able to go home.
It is miraculous.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
STEM is everywhere, like here, behind the scenes of The Walking Dead.
When we break down clothes, we tumble it with trisodium phosphate, rock salt, and dish detergent.
We stitched together images of our model and created a 3D set that can be walked through in a VR headset.
We're able to turn 12 walkers into 1,000 walker boards.
STEM can create new worlds on and off the screen. What will you make with STEM? Get inspired at SheCanSTEM.com.
Our company began in 1985. We have been thankful to serve our community for 38 years. As we celebrate the love and the forgiveness of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, to all of you, we wish a very
Merry Christmas!
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Every now and then, a man's just got to stand up, you know. Stand up for what you believe, stand up because your knees hurt, whatever it is, just stand up. And what happened the other night is out at the Motlow College, they had their Christmas concert, and our man, Philip Scoggins, was out there standing tall. We're going to bring you some of that right now.
Put you into the right spirit. Maybe. Christmas doesn't come from the skull. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more. Ow!
Well, you know what I always say? The best way to spread Christmas cheer is sing loud for all to hear. I'll take it. Is everyone ready?
A little more cheer, how about it? Even I know that was bad.
That's the spirit. What was that? You said something?
No.
Oh, it must be ringing in my ears then. All right, I want everyone to sing along. I don't want anyone mouthing the words.
Don't push it.
lonely days are gone. That's why I'm never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you go. Babe, I'm never gonna let you go. No, no, never gonna let you go.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you.
For many senior citizens, life looks like this, but it doesn't have to. When you make your home at Parkview Senior Living, life after retirement takes on a whole new meaning. Daily exercise options, fun outings, happy hour, game nights, movies and popcorn, arts and crafts, enjoying friends over chef-prepared meals. Parkview Senior Living, where you're always home, but you're never home alone.
He's a little bit of you, he's a little bit of me. He's the trash along the roadside of Tennessee. He's the garbage that we find. He's the dream we left behind. Lord, there ain't no lower class than Tennessee trash. A throwaway bottle or pop-top can may not seem much to a traveling man, but a little bit of litter goes a long, long way. Getting bigger every day. Tennessee trash messing up the highways. Tennessee trash jogging up the byways. Lord, there ain't no lower class than Tennessee trash. Lord, there ain't no lower class than Tennessee trash.
We have met the enemy, and he is us.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
I was skeptical about getting the COVID-19 vaccine. There are a lot of opinions being shared. But I had the chance to talk with my doctor about my concerns. He told me the vaccines are backed by decades of research, and that the vaccines are proven safe and effective. Now I'm protected and ready to put this pandemic behind us. Join the millions of Tennesseans who have decided to give COVID-19 vaccines a shot. Visit covid19.tn.gov to find an appointment today.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Where am I looking?
You know, folks, I say this from time to time, and you just never know who's going to show up when you're sitting in this seat, and there are special people that make me happy every time I get to spend time with them. And this is one of my local heroes right here, Dr. Katrine Stevens, and this is our superintendent of schools. And I've said this before, I'm going to say it right now.
Uh-oh.
I've known just about every superintendent. I went to East Lincoln School.
All right, an
where
Eagle.
I am a reading buddy.
Oh.
That is where Mr. Robert E. Lee's office was, who was the
How about that?
who was the head of the school system. He whipped the boys, his wife whipped the girls.
Oh my goodness.
That's right. And it wasn't the principal, but that's where Mr. Lee was.
Yes.
And from Mr. Lee all the way to this lovely lady right here, I've known every one of them.
Wow.
And what amazes me, and been friends,
Yes.
what amazes me is how different it is when you know of somebody like that and you're in a friend situation
Yes.
versus a business situation.
Sure.
you know? I've walked into many of those offices with some questions, and I was received like this. Yeah. Every time I've been around this lady right here, she's had her hands open, she's wide open, engaging, and just absolutely wonderful to be around. And you don't know how much.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. But also everyone who walks in and to deal with you is received with open arms instead of already having a closed decision made.
It is a calling to serve as an educational leader. I love students. I love adults. I love families. I like people.
Yeah.
I like people.
Well, it's obvious.
And I enjoy conversation. I enjoy navigating challenges. I enjoy celebrating
As if the
successes.
school system doesn't have any, huh?
I mean, there might be one or two, but that's a part of life.
Yes.
There are challenges everywhere, and you learn how to navigate them to the best of your ability.
Right.
Oftentimes, many heads coming together to figure out solutions, and that's what it's all about.
And one of the other things that is so important is staffing.
Yes.
And that in itself, how many employees
Well,
does the Tullahoma City School System have?
ballpark, we have around 520 employees in total. That's all part-time, full-time, teachers, classified staff. So it's a huge organization.
Wouldn't we love to have another business come in here and bring 500 jobs into town?
Right. And actually, I would say that our school system does bring jobs to town, right? Because it has such an incredible reputation.
Yes.
People, businesses want to be here.
Yes.
So their children can be a part of Tullahoma City Schools. It has a rich history.
Yes.
It has a beautiful present and an incredible future.
Yes. Well, and we live in a town with a highly educated population because of Arnold Center and UTSI.
Sure.
And what's going on out there. And those folks come into town, they're intelligent people. They demand their children be educated properly. We probably, without that, would not have the Civic Center we have, the Art Center we have, certainly not the Science Center we have. So all of that packed together makes Tullahoma a pretty, obviously, a pretty desirable place to come visit and then stay.
That's right. That's exactly right. And speaking of parents, I'm thinking about our parents across the school district. We've recently been doing some parent meetings at our elementary schools. We've finished 3. We've been talking about reading, and we've been talking about 3rd grade retention and promotion and that law that we all know about. And we have had such a great number of parents from all of our schools attend. They are so committed to understanding how to best support their children. They do have high expectations, but I would say our parents, by and large, want to be partners with us in the journey.
Sure.
They want to be helpers. So what can I do at home? And I so appreciate the commitment of our families. I also appreciate the commitment of our community. This community is very invested in our school system. Whether you are a wildcat or you've come from another state, it's amazing how people join in to the mission of the city schools. We have volunteers in all of our buildings, and you're a reading buddy.
Sure.
And we rallied to get 128 of them.
And got them.
And I'd love to hear from you, from your perspective, what's it like being a reading buddy, being a community member, coming into a school and providing some additional time and support for children?
Well, I look at it as an opportunity for me to share. I write and I love words. I have nowhere near the vocabulary that my wife does. She edits everything I do because I'm a horrible speller. I know the words, but I just, when they come through my mind, I just write it down how it goes. And 2 lines later, I can use it again, spell it different. You know, so she bleeds on everything. She takes her red pen and bleeds. You know, it looks like I hand her a paper and it looks like it went through the Civil War when she hands it back to me. But being with those, I'm reading with the second grade, and being with those young, wonderfully absorbing minds and bright eyes.
And you're at East Lincoln.
East Lincoln, where I went to school. And I told them the other day, I said, now when I was in school here, there was a wall probably right where, of course, this is a completely different school, but if you had a room like this, there would be a wall right here, and behind it would be a little hallway about 3 feet wide, and that was the coat room.
Oh my goodness.
And they had an opening on one end and an opening on the other end. So when you went in the coat room, when you got there, and it had a rack on the wall hanger, you hung your coat up or your umbrella or whatever you had, and then came out and sat down. Well, I spent a lot of time in the coat room. Not because I was hanging coats up.
Really?
Yeah, no, I was on the stool in the corner back
my.
They just laugh. They are so open-minded and so wanting to hear and learn and share.
Yes.
And the folks over there say, thank me, and I say, no, thank you.
Yes.
This is a gift to me.
Yes. And you were just talking about, in your own writing, you use the word vocabulary, but my wife has a bigger vocabulary than me. Do you know how someone builds vocabulary?
I do. I know how she does.
Spend time reading.
Reading.
Reading. 20 minutes of reading a day. There is research that talks about the powerful, positive impact that has on a person's vocabulary, their writing, their empathy, problem solving, creativity, on and on and on. And so what you're doing by sharing text, by reading, whether it's work you've written or books you've enjoyed, is you are helping build vocabulary. Younger children are learning through listening and hearing. They listen to your inflection, they watch you track, and they are putting together what reading sounds like, what it looks like, how it goes from left to right. So many subtleties about reading you're teaching through modeling. It's powerful.
Well, and when we read, we go through words and new words and how new words are help, and then in the next section might be helpful.
Yes.
You know, so adding words together to make another word, and
you're dabbling
and
in
then we read a little book.
Sure.
You know, that has the new words that we've done in it. Well, one of the things I found out is some of the kids who know the words, they just read right through the punctuation.
Yeah.
And I stop them and say, no. I say, see that little dot right there? That's there for a purpose. Listen to me read that same line.
There you go.
And stop and add inflection to a word that's supposed to be a stronger word in that statement.
Yes.
And it's amazing how they pick up on that.
They do. The influence you have in a small group, one-on-one, to be able to have those moments to point out how a comma, when there, tells you slow down, or a period tells you to stop, take a breath. That's important because it helps them build comprehension as they are really focusing in on what they're reading, thinking about what they're reading. That really has an impact on their outcomes and lots of other things, right?
Sure. And it's just so much fun. And it's fun watching. Now, I don't know that I could be a second grade teacher.
Why?
Well, I just don't. I love my hour. I could spend 2 or 3 hours, but you've got to have stamina.
Yes, that is very true.
To go into that battle every day of the week.
Yeah, it's a calling.
Because it's a calling. Oh, it is. It's not a job. It's a mission.
Yeah, and our teachers are amazing all day.
Incredible, all of them. And those kids just absolutely. I remember when I was in the 3rd grade and we went for Christmas, and we came back and my 3rd grade teacher had gotten married. I was the maddest little boy you've ever seen. I hated her husband till I was 25.
Oh, goodness.
How dare him take her away from me? And that's how they feel about these teachers.
They love
and,
their teachers.
You know, what about you? How do you spend Christmas? What's your joy of the holiday season?
So I am one of those, and this could be, you know, there's different sides. I'm an early decorator.
No.
So I am. So at the first weekend of November every year, which happens to usually fall on my birthday or around my birthday, we decorate the entire home inside for Christmas. And I enjoy all overhead lights out and just the lights of the trees and that beautiful glow.
Yes.
I enjoy sitting and looking at the color and the lights and really reflecting on memories of my childhood. Games that we played, things like that. So I love that. So I am one of those. And I saw a piece of research that talked about how people who decorate earlier are happier people. I'd like to believe that. I don't know that it's really accurate, but I certainly enjoy it.
Okay, if you've got to be that way.
I do.
I think Thanksgiving is the forgotten holiday.
Oh, but it sits so beautifully in there. And I have a beautiful turkey decor, and we love Thanksgiving, and we always share what we're thankful for.
Yeah.
I had extended family from California and Washington, D.C., all in the house, enjoying that time of being thankful. So it's not forgotten. It's certainly enjoyed in the midst of the
Christmas.
holly. It's so beautiful. We have cookies that we bake. We have something called sand tarts, and these sand tarts are very thin, like a sugar cookie. My grandmother, who I was born on her birthday, she was born in November 4th, 1900. I was born on her birthday many years later. It's her recipe that's passed down to our family, so now I make these cookies with my children and grandchildren, which is a lot of fun. We dabble in lots of baking. We have Christmas pajamas that we all wear.
Oh, you don't?
Oh, I'm one of those. And I have a 30-year-old, and her husband plays along. And we have a great time. So before Christmas Eve, they will unwrap their pajamas because they don't actually know what they look like from year to year. It's always entertaining in our home. Absolutely.
Well, I think we're being told we need to move on just a little bit. So what I want to say to you is, you, my dear, are a present to this town.
Oh, thank you.
And when you have been unwrapped, what was inside the package far exceeds what we thought.
Thank you.
And
I
we appreciate you and how you're navigating probably one of the biggest businesses in Tullahoma. And you do it with such compassion and style. And what we're going to do is we're going to set a time to get you back on the Insight where we can spend about 30 minutes or so.
Oh, that'd be great.
And go through some of the other school type stuff that we need to talk about.
Absolutely.
And let the community know, because what Tullahoma City school system is 45, 50%, 48% of the city budget.
Yeah, it's a large portion.
Large
Absolutely.
portion of the city budget. Our tax dollars go to make sure we have one of the best schools in the state of Tennessee, which bring people and businesses
without a doubt
to this town.
It's an economic driver, that's for sure.
Tell Sena I said hello.
I will do that.
And dear, Merry
Good to
Christmas
see
to
you.
you.
Merry
It's always
Christmas.
a pleasure.
Thank you.
And Christmas pajamas, all of you? Make a picture.
Oh, I have them.
I
My
bet you
children
do.
wouldn't like it if I would share them.
Oh, man. We'll be back after these messages.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
For many senior citizens, life looks like this, but it doesn't have to. When you make your home at Parkview Senior Living, life after retirement takes on a whole new meaning. Daily exercise options, fun outings, happy hour, game nights, movies and popcorn, arts and crafts, enjoying friends over chef-prepared meals. Parkview Senior Living, where you're always home, but you're never home alone.
Our company began in 1985. We have been thankful to serve our community for 38 years. As we celebrate the love and the forgiveness of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, to all of you, we wish a very
Merry Christmas!
So you've been meaning to do something healthy, commune with nature, get outdoors and meet new people. We have the perfect solution. Come hike with us. You can find a Tennessee Trails Association chapter near you, including Clarksville, Columbia Franklin, Highland Rim, Jackson, Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Memphis, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Plateau at Crossville, and Upper Cumberland. We're on the web at TennesseeTrails.org. It's fun, it's stress-free, and it's good for you. See you on the trails.
There is a road laid out for me.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river and walk.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Talking history about this and that. It's Conversations with John and Pat. With John and Pat. With John and Pat.
Hello, everyone. I'm John Rigman.
And I'm Pat Welch, and we're here today, TV Land, for the segment 97 of the Conversations with John and Pat.
Pat, straighten us out. Who was that other pitcher? We mentioned the Sheffields.
Last week, we've talked about professional pitchers currently, and both you and I showed a tendency to dementia because neither one of us had come up with, and it's on tip of our tongue, David Hess. David Hess is in the Baltimore organization. He played in the American Little League in Tullahoma. He was a great pitcher at the high school. And his parents are Charlotte and I believe Jeff. And if I've missed one of the parents' names, the next segment we'll correct it too. But
we'll apologize and just go on.
That's right.
We don't mean to. We don't mean to have.
We're both on limited batteries, I believe, but we have. At least we come up with 1 week the correct name.
Pat, I want to show you this. This is the Ballad of Davy Crockett.
Now, is that Fess Parker?
That's Fess Parker. Now this is music from my sister played piano, and we had that music at our house, and I guess I confiscated it and took it with me, and that's Fess Parker. Walt Disney did a series of
they did either Saturday or Sunday night.
Yeah, and, it was great. Everybody loved it.
My family went to Gatlinburg one time and found one of those cheap souvenir shops, and about 3 coonskin caps came out of there because of that picture.
Kids had little toy muskets.
Oh yeah.
And this is a song that was inside there.
He had an Indian friend, Mingo.
Huh?
I had an Indian friend named Mingo.
Yeah. I mean, it was a great show.
Oh, it was.
And I haven't seen it in a long time. But born on a mountaintop in Tennessee, greenest state in the land of the free, raised in the woods so he knew every tree, killed him a bar when he was only 3. Davy Crockett, king of the wild frontier. All through the woods he's a marching along, making up yarns and singing a song, itching for a fighting and righting a wrong. He's ringy as a bar and twice as strong. Davy Crockett, the buckskin buccaneer. His land is biggest and his land is best. From the grassy plains to the mountain crest, he's ahead of us all, meeting the test, followed his legend into the west. Davy Crockett, king of the wild frontier.
That brings back a lot of Walt Disney memories for me, John.
We kids had a big time with that. I don't know what years that was, but
it was early 60s, I believe.
Yeah, I want to talk about another famous Tennessean.
Okay.
He was from Marshall County. Marshall County's had 3 governors, Pat. Jim McCord, Henry Horton, and Buford Ellington. And Buford Ellington is the one.
All from Marshall County, or some of them were transplants, weren't they?
Buford Ellington came from Holmes County, Mississippi. He was born in 1907, went to Millsaps College in Jackson, Mississippi, but dropped out due to financial difficulties. He married, he edited a newspaper in Durant, Mississippi, but then he married a sweet, charming young lady from Marshall County, Catherine Ann Cheek, and he moved to her native Marshall County. And there's the couple right there.
We'll count him as a Marshall County man then.
He bought a store at Verona. That's between Caney Spring and Lewisburg. Ran a peddling wagon and farmed. He later would be a supervising salesman with the Farm Bureau.
If you had a business in Verona, John, you're automatically native. Thank you. Keep going.
He affiliated with the Democratic Party, was elected to Marshall County, sent to the Tennessee House of Representatives. He campaigned for Frank Clement in '52. When elected, he appointed Ellington as Commissioner of Agriculture. In 1958, he ran for governor, and while not winning any of the 4 major metropolitan areas, he was elected, and he was very popular with the common folk, or the rural folks. In 1965, after he served his term, President Lyndon Johnson appointed him as director of the Office of Emergency Planning, which now is FEMA. He would be the first FEMA person leader. He ran again for governor in '66, defeating John J. Hooker. And this time he won 3 of those 4 sections, metropolitan sections. But Ellington died April 3rd, '72, while playing golf at Boca Raton, Florida. He was only the age of 64. And the golf course at Henry Horton is named for him, as well as Ellington Agriculture Center in Nashville. But this was written about Buford, showed his humility and confidence in himself. He was a man of the people. Too many times when a farmer is asked, "What's your occupation?" he kind of ducks his head and says embarrassingly, "I'm just a farmer." Buford Ellington was a man who never was embarrassed to say he was a man of the soil. He was proud of it and proud to tell others. Nor did his family forget his beginnings in the county. He chose, now this is one thing that you and I were I'd seen it before but never thought much about it, but we went over to Chapel Hill, to Lawrence's Funeral Home when Murray Holton passed away, our friend, and inside a little glass case, they have pictures of, put up another picture there. There he is with the Farm Bureau group. And go to the next one, if you will. And that's when he passed away. And when we were there at the funeral of Murray, or visitation, you noticed in there was such a big...
There was a huge write-up. It was like, that's not the first visitation we've been to over there, John. It's like going back in the 40s or something. And I'm not too sure what it says about Chapel Hill when the most thriving business is the funeral home there. But it's a kind of the social.
It is. They have rocking chairs out on the front porch.
I think that people go out there and discuss the topics of town, even if there's not a body there.
I do too. Buford would have his funeral. He'd rather have it here, according to one of the directors of the funeral chapel there, Thomas Lawrence, he said he would rather be here than to have a funeral in a big fine place somewhere else.
Well, it had in a really prominent area of the funeral home. He had a write-up and some acknowledgments of this day, and President Johnson. I believe he was there.
Let me tell you who was there.
They said the Secret Service was everywhere.
I'm prepared today.
You are doing well.
Former President Lyndon B. Johnson with wife Lady Bird, Vice President Spiro Agnew, former Ellington. They had headed the list of dignitaries. Governor and Ms. Winfield Dunn, former Governor Gordon Browning, and most of the state's congressmen. Mississippi, since he was from the state of Mississippi, 4 living former governors came to the funeral. Can you imagine all those people coming down to Chapel Hill, that small little town, and having so much going on at that funeral home just south of the town? Numerous senators, congressmen, members of the Tennessee General Assembly, and also a fella named Tennessee Ernie Ford was there. I'm sure every farmer in Marshall County will be here, said Ms. Garrett Lawrence, wife of one of the funeral directors, who was a longtime friend with the Ellingtons. The hearse bearing the body traveled from Chapel Hill through Lewisburg to Lone Oak Cemetery. The minister was saying words of comfort to the family under the funeral tent when the feathered friends made good on their title as being the official bird of Tennessee. Their music from the treetops overrode human words for the rest of the gathering. Buford Ellington was home to stay in the country he loved. After the governor died, the Nashville Banner went to Verona store one day and interviewed some of the people.
Was the cemetery near Verona then? Is that what you're...
Cemetery was at Lewisburg.
Okay.
But Verona, this lady went to the Verona store, and they were sitting around a coal-burning stove in the back of the Verona store Wednesday. They were talking about the man who used to run the store before he became governor of Tennessee. One said, "I've pitched hay with Buford many a time." Another said, "I used to work in the store here for him on Saturdays, and I drove a milk truck for him. Yeah, I used to work his corn when I wasn't in school." On a trip back from the store.
That's one of those deals where everybody knew him after he did well.
I like this one a whole lot. On a trip back to the store when he was in Washington, this man said he had just got back from a trip from Washington. He came home to Verona. He sat here in the back of the store with some of us and ate Vienna sausages and crackers. He said he felt far more at home than he did here than he did in Washington. I've heard it said, I like this, humility will get you an audience with the king. Buford Ellington remained humble from beginning to end. When he died, it caused quite a stir in tiny Chapel Hill. He was a good man, public-minded, never forgot the regular folks back at his home county. And this is also a tribute to Lawrence Funeral Home, a funeral chapel in Chapel Hill, Tennessee. And they serve, Pat, people all the way over to Rover, to Unionville, over to Laws Hill or Farmington, Caney Spring.
And it's just out of that one spot. They only have one.
They go wide. College Grove and Allisona, Arrington, a lot of people go there to have their funerals conducted by those wonderful people at Lawrence Funeral Home.
The picture and the write-up of the Ellington funeral at Lawrence was really interesting when we were over there. But also there was a receipt and bill for a funeral. I believe it was in the really early 40s, and that was pretty incredible. And they charged the family for a tie at 25 cents, I think. Suit maybe $10. They even had this undershirt, had a price tag on it, and the whole funeral, it probably wouldn't come to $500, maybe something like that, and they gave him 10% discount for cash on the day of the funeral. It was it was a really interesting
We
deal.
need to wind up, but tell one more little short story, Pat, about Murray Holton, the coach at Chapel Hill who passed away.
And we went to that visitation. Now, Murray, for those that don't remember, that we've talked about him several times, he was John's teammate and at Chapel Hill in high school, and he was a very successful high school coach at Forest School or in Chapel Hill. And Chapel Hill and probably their biggest rival, and Lynchburg's probably the biggest rivals each other. They really got after each other, but with real respect for one another. Both fan bases and players have always respected one another. But when Murray died, he had 3 daughters, and one of his daughters went to get a tie because it felt like he didn't have a new enough tie to be buried in. And she came back with a really light blue, Columbia blue tie, and I think they already had it on him. And then somebody said, wait, then Murray's he's not going to be buried in that Lynchburg blue tie, and had to go back to the men's store and get another tie. They weren't going to go into the ground with a Columbia blue Moore County tie on.
We like them Moore County boys now.
That's
We've all
right.
grown up and got over it.
That's right. All right, John, that wraps up segment 97. We have 3 more for a 100. And I am excited, and I hope management is too. Thank you all.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat. With John and Pat. With John and Pat.
The Bookshelf in Tullahoma is the fundraising arm of the Coffee County Literacy Council. Since 1988, the Literacy Council's goal and purpose has been to support and promote adult basic education in Coffee County. We enable individuals to complete their high school equivalency exam, which helps them get better jobs or continue into higher education. The Bookshelf at 114 Southwest Atlantic Street in Tullahoma is where we sell used books, which are donated to us by the community. Come see us, bring your books to donate, and join us as you find every genre of books that you can imagine.
I had a knee replacement, so they've got me in life care, which I'm very, very thankful for. I couldn't garden, I couldn't do my flower beds, I can't chase my little dogs. I have been in several therapy sessions for knees and back, and that's the best therapist I believe I've ever been to. It's tremendous because I'm able to walk again, but if it wasn't for the care, I wouldn't be where I am.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
Parkview Senior Living, active, independent senior living at its finest.
Do you love sports? Then you should know about STEM. Because maximizing nutrition, analyzing peak muscle performance, calculating the perfect shot, and more are all made possible by science, technology, engineering, and math. In fact, there are more careers than ever in sports science. So if you have a passion for sports, then think about getting involved in STEM and improve everyone's game on and off the field. Get inspired at SheCanSTEM.com.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and we had Christmas parade the other night, and right at the front of that Christmas parade always rides two of the most important people in this town. That's the fire chief and the police chief. And we have the fire chief with us here today, Kenny Pearson, because we had something that we usually do during the parade that didn't get done. And so my sister-in-law and co-host with Jim Fuller, Miss Candy Couch, is here because she's the one that usually makes this presentation.
Yes, and so on behalf of your friends here at P-Head and Channel 6, we want to give you a fire truck for a deserving young person in Tullahoma, and I didn't know until a few minutes ago.
That's awesome.
And you know what? It talks about one of the recordings on here. It says, "Be a hero." And you fellas are heroes. You ladies and gentlemen are heroes to all of us. And
together, we can save the day.
You can save the day. And tell us, how many people do you all have on staff with your departments?
With our department, we have 30 full-time firefighters that are on staff, 10 per shift. We have 4 administrative staff. We have myself, the chief. We have a deputy chief, assistant chief. And we have a fire marshal. The fire marshal does inspections and works with with the community to make sure that we're up to codes and does any life safety inspections for them. We also have a part-time administrative assistant, Miss Melissa Allen, and she's a lifesaver. We really enjoy having her there. She is just part-time, but the amount of work she does seems like she's there full-time. So
I thought she was chief over there.
Well, we tend to say that all things go through Melissa whenever we're there. So
well, you all are like a big family.
Oh,
I know.
yes. We work 24-hour shifts. This administrative staff's on 8 hours, but being there for a third of the year, you become more than just coworkers. You eat, sleep, and live there for those 24 hours, and you depend on each other to make sure that they're taken care of. When you go to emergency scenes, you're always looking at your guy next to you because you want to make sure that you know they're all right, and they want to make sure that you're all right. So
well, your brothers and sisters in battle.
Oh yes, sir. Yes,
it's
sir,
like
we are.
going to war. It's just a different enemy.
Different playground.
Different enemy.
Well, now you all, I know, support each other as far as going to Manchester, to Shelbyville, if the need arises.
Mutual aid agreements throughout. We go to Manchester. We've been to Deckard recently. They had a fire out on the square. We try to support each other in any way we can. So we have a lot of friends around the neighborhood, and if we ever needed anything, all of them would show up as well. We ask for them to come; they'll be here.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Well, let's get back to the toys. Tell us a little bit about the toy drive that you all have each year.
The toy drive. A few years ago, we used to call it Toys for Tots. It was associated with the Marine Corps. At the time, they were trying to work at. They were going to take all of our funding, send it to the corporate office, and they would divvy that out as needed. We decided to just go with the toy drive with the Tullahoma. We also added the police department. Police department's worked with us for many years, helping us, but I wanted to give them recognition whenever I took over that it was the Tullahoma Fire and Police Drive. We brought them in. They've started helping us buy toys. They're helping us pack the bags. They've always been there for giveaway, so we just wanted to bring them in a little bit closer because we work as a team here within Tullahoma. We work together.
When is your giveaway?
Our giveaway this year is December 23rd.
Mm-hmm.
We just had sign-ups on December 1st and 2nd. We had 136 families that signed up, 309 children at the present time.
Wow.
So that's 309 children that will hopefully have a happier Christmas.
Sure. Where will this take place?
This year. That's the fun thing about it. Every year we have to find a new location. So every year Melissa gets on the phone, starts calling the realtors, starts calling the people, says, anybody got an open building? We just need an open building for about 15 days that we can pack and store and box all the toys that we're going to be giving away. And then we have to have kind of a location that you're able to get into and drive into or drive to. This year it's going to be at Craft Lane, which is between Big Springs and Wilson Avenue. There's a building there next to the old the daycare that's there. There's a building, the back portion of it was a storage area, so we're able to use that this year. So the people that are going to be coming will be able to park in the incubator parking right there, and it's right across the street, so we'll be able to give those toys out on the 23rd.
That's wonderful. Now, if someone were to want to make a donation, what would they need to do?
Donations are if we get donations, new toys, we have to go with new toys now. We used to take used toys, used to fix them up, but at the present time, with all the different things that have happened over the years with COVID, things of that nature, we're asking for packaged new toys. Monetary donations are great because we end up going to 3 local establishments within town and buying toys each year. They usually give us a discount, plus it's tax-free for us. So monetary donations go farther than just toy donations. So we can get more bang for our buck with monetary.
Plus, you probably have the ages and whether it's a little boy or a girl or something that they would like to have.
We go from 0 to 14. So usually we break those down into categories of, we'll do 0 to 18 months, 18 months to 3 years old, then we'll do 4 to 6, then 5 to 8 years old, and then 9 to 10, and then 11, 12, and 13 and 14.
Wow.
So
it's a lot of work.
Yeah, well, it is a lot of work, but it is gratifying to see when we're able to help our community and help people within our community to have a more enjoyable Christmas and have something to give their children.
Well, and these kids are going, I thought I wanted to be a fireman. Now I know I want to be a fireman. The firemen get to have toys at Christmas time.
We have a lot of local people that have become firefighters.
Oh, I know you
years.
have. I know you have.
We go into the school systems every year. They see us. They see us yearly. They see us at each grade. They'll see us. We do a lot of events within the school systems. We try to make sure that we are taking care of our school system, teaching them about fire safety. We also do a lot of education on if you want to be a firefighter.
Right.
It's nice
what's needed.
too for them to feel comfortable with you and know that you're their friend and not to be afraid of you.
Indeed.
And one thing that I want to bring out that we sometimes forget to say is our firefighting system here are also first responders medically.
Yes, we are first responders. Everybody within our department is a first responder or above. We have probably 7 or 8 AEMTs, advanced EMTs, and we have 1 paramedic right now.
So, and if you have a health issue, a problem, a real big problem, instead of having to wait on an ambulance or somebody to get there, the firefighters are
we're first
closer,
response.
probably the closest people to the issue, and can get there and get it under control until somebody else comes.
Sure.
Yes.
All right, because you probably don't transport to the hospital.
No, we don't have any transport capabilities at the present time.
So, and I just think that's wonderful.
Well, I appreciate that.
Well, we thank you for all you do and all your departments
Thank
do.
you again.
And
every year we get this fire truck, and it's really appreciated.
well, now we're going to have to get us a police car now that y'all teamed up with
No, you don't have to.
Well, I'll tell you what you do. If you ever wonder why you're doing what you're doing, just push that button.
Exactly.
And you know what it'll say? You too can be a hero. And
That's
you
right.
are.
Thank you.
We'll be
Merry
back
Christmas.
after these messages.
Smoking tobacco accounts for 3 of every 10 fire deaths in the United States.
Tullahoma Fire Department need you en route to a structure fire, 202 Main Street. Heavy smoke showing. Neighbors advise child trapped inside.
Lighters, matches, and associated smoking paraphernalia are the leading cause of preschooler fire deaths. We as firefighters know that most structure fires can be prevented.
I've got one! I've got one! Command, this is primary search. We have a victim. Need EMS to meet us at the front door.
Please help us to give you a fighting chance. This can be prevented. Contact the Tullahoma Fire Department for a free home safety inspection.
What's a Tennessee vacation? It starts off like any road trip, and then, boom, adventure and thrills everywhere you look, which happens to be some of the most beautiful scenery in the country. Music here, history there, and all kinds of green in between. Come relax and unwind, or bring the crowd for some stargazing, or stargazing. Whatever you do, come hungry and expect an awesome soundtrack. It's all right here in Tennessee. We're playing your song. For a free vacation guide, visit tnvacation.com.
Come on. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
And to keep the entertainment flowing, we're going to bring you now the Tullahoma High School Chamber Singers and their rendition of Next Noel.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, here we are with Mr. Jackie Duncan.
Ta-da.
I asked him why he didn't bring any
Drum roll.
donuts. Man named Duncan needs to show up with some donuts.
I told him a man named Duncan, if he has donuts, he might have eaten them before he got here.
Yeah.
What you got going on, Jackson?
I wanted to really, I guess, expound on the daycare thing this week, Tullahoma Daycare. They've had a lot of activities going on, and I know I took a couple of bicycles over there for their auction to help raise money, and that's just a great organization.
It is a great organization.
It is a great organization, and I've been kind of in their background for a bunch of years because Miss Emma, who's been there 40 years, I think. I heard somebody
She's an
say
amazing
that.
lady.
Yeah, she's been a member of my church for that long. She's a member of our congregation at Mount Zion Baptist Church, and Miss Nita is as well. And so I've known them both all my life. I've watched them grow up, you know. That's kind of getting away my age a little bit. That's all right. I'm an old fella, you know. That's good. But it's been a blessing just being around them, and I had the honor. I was invited to come and address that the daycare bunch back in February, and it was just a blessing to be there for those kids. I tell you what, I don't know it. I don't have any kids. I've never been married.
They just brighten your day.
But oh God, it brightened my month.
Yeah.
And I'm still talking about it. So it's been almost a year now. You know, so I'm still going good. But they were just a blessing to me, and I hope I was a blessing to them. When
I'm sure you were.
I tried to encourage kids especially, because you know every kid doesn't have the same environment growing up, and they miss out on a lot of things. Some of them miss out on a lot of things that others know about, and they don't. And that's why I guess we've got a different level of activity going on when kids get older. Mm-hmm. They get older, and some do different things that shouldn't do, and some do, you know, are on the right track. But it's a blessing to. They learn. They're like little sponges at this age, you know, they're so small.
They soak it up.
They soak it up, and they'll soak up the good or the bad, whatever they're exposed to. And I'm grateful to see happy kids, especially, and that their little minds are working good, going in the right direction. Because I'm gonna tell you, there's nothing worse. I've learned this in just old age, that there's nothing worse than a young person preying on an older person, you know, when you get old and sick and you can't do for yourself. And we all, if we live long enough, are going to get that way, perhaps. Yeah, I pray not, but pray we'll all be able to do for ourselves. But sometimes we get to that situation, and when you get to that situation, then somebody comes and preys on you that just because they're bigger and stronger than you and didn't get raised properly. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. They didn't get proper training at home, maybe, and or didn't have a home, maybe.
Right.
You know, so there's a lot of that going on, but I'm just
And a lot of
blessed.
that kids are raised with a home that has not the environment they need.
True. That's true.
And that's sad.
That's true. And everybody don't raise their kids the same way, but it breaks my heart to see. You know, I've been a victim just not long ago, recently. Well, not too recent, but thank God. Somebody breaks into your territory, though. It's a bad situation. Yeah. You know, it really takes a lot out of you, and when it takes a lot, something out of your life, just, you know, thinking about it, tossing it over and over in your mind, and wondering if you're safe in the environment that you've established around yourself, that you've built up. And so anyway, but we don't want to talk about the gloomy stuff so much, but we just encourage and bless every child out there. You know, I try to do whatever I can to bless them, to be a blessing in their life. But the main thing is for adults is to be a good example. Be a good example. Ain't no doubt about that. So I think
Uncommon.
I know that's true.
Be uncommon.
That's
Tony
true.
Dungy's book. Don't run with the herd.
Oh, that's true.
Be uncommon.
Oh,
Don't
that's
be
true.
common.
I have a plaque that starts, I do not choose to be a common man, I will be uncommon. If
There you go.
Amen. Oh, wow. I
Very
like that.
important.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard that before, but I like
I
that.
have it on a big plaque in my
You got
house.
something to show? We got 2 minutes.
Oh.
Yeah, no, we're getting out of time. I don't really have anything to show much, but I just, like I said, I wanted to encourage kids. And I took those bicycles that we talked about last time. I took those bicycles over for the kids for the auction, and Mount Zion, we just wanted to be a part of the good things that are going on in the community if we can. And so we try that all the time. But here's a great little shot right here of Mount Zion when back in the old days when we were.
Oh, okay.
Okay. This is a shot right here of, yeah, this.
I love how everybody's dressed up.
Oh yeah, I think I've shown this once before, but there's my
Sweet.
grandmother just almost in the middle, is holding a little baby there, and that's me.
Oh,
And
sweet.
So I've been a part of Mount Zion for forever. You know, I've been there forever, and that's my grandmother holding me in her arms, Florence Duncan.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, and that was such a blessing. That picture right there, and that little boy on at the very bottom on that front row is Walter Daniel Smith. I think he was one of the first ones from Tullahoma.
Look how well dressed everybody is.
I know.
He was one of the
They're
first
all
ones from
dressed up.
Tullahoma that died in Vietnam War.
Oh, really?
Sure did, yeah, sure did. And I know, and the good thing about it is I know most of these people that are on there. I knew them, you know, and I remember them. And I grew up around them, and so that was just a blessing in my life. So anyway, I know we're about out of time, and
We're always out of time.
Oh yeah,
You're gonna get it. You're gonna get it. You'll
Anyway.
read it fast.
Well, here's one thing about children. It says, be mindful of the things you embrace. Be careful of what you bring home. Whoever thought a word so small could cause a child to go wrong. A derogative word that someone embraced or an innocent child was taught. Similar words and nurtured along somehow turned into a thought. Soon habits were formed, all bad, I'm afraid. Character that's building displayed it. Now fate will assume control of what now has become the misguided, ill-fated. Fate will determine the life now at hand, the innocence once there and now gone, because of a word that shouldn't have been said that someone regrettably brought home.
I love that.
And speaking about now gone, that's us.
That's
We're
us.
gone.
We're gone.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. We'll see you next time.